Hello everyone and welcome back to Endless Space 2. Oh man, it's been a little bit since I last recorded, so I kind of had to go through and remind myself of everything that was going on. And yeah, it's interesting. We're kind of on the cusp of a galactic war here. Well, technically with a couple of people. But in particular, these guys. And so we've been working on building up our military and designing a military, more importantly. We actually have a military ship designed now. It's pretty good too. And we're actually going to be producing some over here in Newholm before too terribly long. We've also been trying to expand. And quite honestly, we've been going, as you can see here, we've been going down the science path quite a bit, which is not a bad thing. Science technically leads into pretty much every other victory type in this game. So in a way, we're setting ourselves up to be able to sort of jump to victory at any time. You know, in about, I don't know, 200 turns or so. So we're about to absorb these guys, the U-Show, which is cool. It's going to give us another system. But this actually gave me another really great opportunity to talk about another little thing. I know there's going to be fewer and fewer things for us to talk about and really like put under the microscope here, because you basically know how the whole game works now, which is great. But I just really quickly wanted to point out, I talked about this before, but this is, there's not a whole lot to talk about here, but this is the maximum number of systems that you can have before your empire starts to sort of become flooded with disapproval. There's some pretty harsh penalties when you go over it by too much. So how do you mitigate this? Well, there's a couple of ways. First of all, just having a lot of approval in systems is a great way to mitigate it. And you can go over that number and not really have to worry about it too much. Like, honestly, if you have a pretty happy empire, you can go over that number by like 1 or 2 systems and be fine. But if you really want to improve that number, there are certain techs that will do so. This is one right here. Just getting this tech will add a +1 to the number of systems. Getting this tech will add +2 to the number of systems. There's another, where is it? Is it right? I think it's actually the same. Yeah, it's on the same tech there. This will allow you to build an improvement on level 4 or higher, or level 4 is the max. Level 4 colonies that will improve the number of systems you can have. Like, it's interesting. So expanding is not impossible and technically can be done sort of ad infinitum. And as a matter of fact, it's a pretty big strategy pretty good strategy if you want to win like the conquest victory, which is literally just grabbing the prerequisite number of systems, in this case 22. So I don't know what victory type we're going to be going for yet. Maybe scientific, maybe supremacy, depending on how these wars play out. I don't really know. But anyway, we're gonna kick this game off. We're gonna try. We really are. So there's a couple of things I wanted to look at over here. We're doing pretty well pop-wise here, but our food is starting to suffer a bit. We're at 29 net food. And I know we want a military, but if that food drops down too low, it's we're going to start losing population. And in addition to that, with it being as low as it is right now, we're not gaining population. And so in the long run, that's going to sort of hurt our ability to expand and build stuff and do things, and we don't want any of that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build some food improvements. I'm only gonna build one right now in between the military stuff and our modernization. And it's gonna be this one, the intensive cultivation logistics. My reasoning for this is that the plus 10% food it grants you is pretty damn good, because if you look at this, it's taking that from your positive food. So already that would be getting us like roughly like 16 food. And then in addition to that, we also get a flat plus 10 per luxury deposit, and we have 2. So that's going to be, you know, roughly 36, 10%. I don't think it takes, yeah, I think it's not from the net. I think it's from the total positive gain. Anyway, we're going to be getting probably the most food from this than out of these 3 choices. This one is a pretty good choice as well. That's actually one more turn. Oh, you know what? We might want to get this instead. We're still going to want to get this. In fact, we'll queue it up at the end here, but you know what? We're actually going to throw this in there. I didn't realize that we were in a industrial position right now to really get that out as quickly as we can, but we can. It's only going to take 4 turns. And as you can see there, as you can read there, it's 25 food per system level. We're about to be system level 2, so that's going to be 50 food right off the bat, an extra 3 food for every original Empire population. Which means Volters, and I believe that also includes Sisters of Mercy. But it at least includes Volters. So that's going to be super handy. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on there, actually. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's take a look-see here. Westholm. Alright, we're sort of focusing a bit on, not really on science, but on, I don't know, I guess resource collection over here. This is really a system we grabbed because of everything it has. You know, we have titanium, hyperium, a ton of dark glitter. So we're definitely going to be working on getting this stuff. We're going to need the tech for steppes planets here, probably sooner rather than later. I believe, yeah, it's right here. And we're actually going to push that ahead of this tech. Because it's going to lead into it. And I think, again, I'm not positive about this. I believe having 2 techs that both link to this tech will actually improve its speed. Either way, it's only going to take 2 turns to grab it, so we're just going to go ahead and get it. The other things that allows you to do are actually pretty helpful too. It gives you 2 new kinds of probes that you can put on your scout ships. Very useful. But they do cost Hyperium and Titanium, so, you know, pros and cons. Alright, so we're currently having a Golden Age. I'm gonna have to think about how I want to do this. We're fine on food over here, and I'm pretty comfortable with our queue right now. I think Gatria was fine as well. Well, we could actually stand to queue up a few more things over here. Gatria, this is a really interesting system. I'm really, like, curious to see what happens over here. Alright, we got our scout down there right now. We just met the Mavros. I remember that. We'd love to be friends with them. Do we want to absorb them into our... Probably. It's not a horrible system. It's pretty good for dust. They're industrialists, so it's kind of an odd system for them to be in, honestly, but... it is what it is. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, we got a pretty good start over here. I'm not complaining. They're gonna grow a little bit faster because they're currently having a 9-turn Golden Age, which is gonna help their Fidzy and stuff. So we can afford to probably queue up some non-industrial stuff as well. It's gonna help the rest of our empire, especially right now. But we're not really hurting on dust. Sorry. Tryharding, this is what it looks like. We are going to queue up this atmospheric anomaly as well. I think we're actually going to push this up to here, because the sooner we've identified it, the sooner we can take advantage of it. It might be a negative one. There's no way of actually knowing. And yeah, I know how weird that is. Like, you know, you don't know what it is, and therefore it doesn't affect you. It's kind of a weird idea, but it could be good. We're gonna play the lottery there and pop that. And then, these guys over here that we just absorbed into our empire, they're not getting their bonuses because they're not on an anomaly. As soon as we're done building this, we're definitely going to consider shuffling some population around from system to system, so that we can really get the most out of all of our, like, pop bonuses. As you might have noticed, those pilgrims, excuse me, right? Pilgrims? It is pilgrims, isn't it? Yeah, pilgrims. They only get that additional science if they're on a planet with an anomaly. And we don't have any anomalies here that are identified, so meh. Oh, but we did finish this quest. Bam. So we've obtained this minor civilization now. So now, the Yusho are part of our empire. They're also not getting their population bonus and literally are incapable of getting it in their system. That's really unfortunate. So we're going to modernize them as well so that we can actually shuffle them around and make some stuff happen. We're going to make drone networks, and Xeno Industrial Infrastructure will actually be a great thing to build. because temperate and fertile on their first planet, and the other two will be plus 10 each. So I'm going to say that's probably worth it. And then we can go ahead and colonize those, both for the extra industry bonuses, but also they both have red sang on them, and we can actually start accumulating some of that, which is not going to be bad. So we got a bit of a queue going on there now. We've discovered Gossamer, which is only sort of true. Westholm has more Volters. That's awesome. We've done a lot of modernization, as you can see, on Newholm and on Gatria. Let's actually go to Newholm really quick. So as you can see, now that we've modernized above level 1, we now have a spaceport. At level 3, we'll have 4 slots down here, and at level 4, we'll have 5 slots down here. And what you can do is you can literally drag population into the spaceport, and then you can set a destination, and it will send them off on their merry way until they get to said destination. Now be careful when you're using this feature, because, for example, let's just pretend that well, actually, we don't even have to. Here, I'll just use this as an example. Let's say I want to send some pop from Newholm to Kianos over here, or vice versa. They'll have to pass through these systems to get there, and there are pirates right here. They could easily have ships right there or there, and as my ships are flying down here, they'll be civilian ships, so I won't have any control over them. They could just get completely obliterated. They have no defenses whatsoever. So my different options are going to be either just don't send anyone there, or take out the pirate base, or park some ships on those nodes so they can defend any civilian ships passing through. Those are all valid options. We got some pirates closing in here, don't we? That shouldn't be a problem. Those are all valid options. But honestly, we're probably just going to nuke them. Because that sounds like fun. Alright, what sort of curiosities do we have here? Atmospheric and subterranean. One of them is a level 2 as well. So never know what we'll find here. We got a new battle tactic. That's one of those cards you use in battle. And they have antimatter. So they're immediately worth absorbing into our empire for sure. So we'd really like to befriend them. Botha. What's this system have? It's got some curiosities, so it's at the very least, it's not really a good system. But it's worth popping those curiosities in, for sure. And as you can see, the pace of the game is going to start speeding up now, because I've got a little less to talk about, and also kind of everything's set up and just happening. So, we got a battle here. What are you? You're good at long range, and my new ships I just got here are good at medium range, but short range is going to be like the best for like doing real damage to you, because you're not going to be able to hit me. So we'll just do that. Yeah, easy fight, easy win. I should probably mention, so you'll notice now that this scraper here, in particular, see that little green bar? You can also see it when I hover over it. Yeah, 1739 health out of 2015. That's okay, because it's going to repair 10% of its maximum health every turn. We can speed this up in a number of ways. First of all, if a ship is really damaged, you can just stick them in here and kind of mothball them in the hangar. And that way they won't be able to be attacked or be involved in combat or anything like that, which is fine and dandy. Another thing you can do is that you can click on this to repair all your selected ships for the dust and resource requirements that are shown. And last but not least, you can just kind of leave them, and they will kind of heal on their own. They repair on their own. So we're just going to leave them because they're not damaged that badly. We discovered a neutron star way out here. Oh, that was one of our probes we sent out. Nakos, another new system here. Got some ruins. Oh, it's an interesting system. It's also interesting because controlling that system would mean that you would absorb that neutron star very quickly and gain its benefits, which are, what is it? Science and influence per population. In reality, being that close to a neutron star would really just be horrible radiation. That would be your benefit. Oh, okay, so we have our first hero for recruitment. our second hero, but our first recruiting hero here. And as you can see, they're all scientists. I wonder why that is. They all have different upsides and downsides. And so one thing you can do when this happens is, of course, you can click on every single one and read through all of its stuff and min-max and all that. My recommendation, well, yeah, doing that is nice just to get a nice overview of what they're capable of, but you can get a good idea by looking at their cards here. So first of all, they have every hero has a class. As you can see, counselor, overseer. This is going to affect what sorts of basic common skills they're going to have and share with lots of other heroes of the same class. So an overseer is focused on system-wide resources and fleet development. And then counselors, more focused on empire-wide resources as well as diplomacy. And then you can also see like the number of different skills they have, right? Wit skills, labor skills, command skills, and wanderlust skills. So generally speaking, this is not always true. Generally speaking, heroes with more wanderlust and command skills, these bottom two, are going to be heroes that are sort of more intended to be put in a ship and in a fleet. And heroes with more of the labor and wit skills are going to do better if they're assigned to a system. So we definitely want a hero to assign to a system right now. We really want to like up our science and industry and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, +1 science per pop on planets, +10 science on system. You actually have a lot more fleet skills than I thought you did. That's interesting. See, so there's a perfect example of that general rule being wrong. Although he actually does have a lot of wanderlust, that's true. You must have put anomalies on system. It's 30 science on system. Ooh, that's pretty good. Once we get a trade company, we'll have to talk about that. Cold as well. You're pretty good. I think we might end up picking up you, but just in the interest of checking everything here. Oh, you're also pretty good. And you have this, which is a fantastic skill. This gets us more out of resource deposits. And notice how it says resource deposits, not strategic or luxury deposits. That means it affects both. It's a fantastic skill. So you're pretty good. Honestly. I mean, you're pretty good too. And this, I almost want this more though. So I think we're going to grab you. Chancellor Alazine Matul. So we're going to go ahead and get her as a hero here. We can assign her skills, but before we do, well, let's go ahead and take a look at her actually. So she initially is going to get the +10 science per anomalies on colonized planet on system. So what we want to do is look at our systems and see which one has a bunch of anomalies. That's going to make it worth it for her to be there. There's only one that we're actually able to use there. There's two here, and there's going to be a third one, so that's interesting, right? Over here, there's unfortunately only one. And then down here, we have none, and I believe none. Yeah, we have one on that planet that we're not taking advantage of yet. So far, it seems like this system would be the best for her. At least right now. But later, she's going to get some other skills like this one, Expedition Management, that's going to get her a lot of extra science per cold planet on system. And as you can see, this system has no cold planets. So she's going to be better off on another system later. That's okay. Remember, you can move heroes around. So it's okay for you to take advantage of a hero's skills somewhere and then later change your mind and move them somewhere else where they're technically going to be more effective. Just having them assigned is important because that's how they're going to get experience points and advance and become better at what they do. We have 2 steriles here, only one that we actually have right now. Still probably worth getting this. That's going to go ahead and get us 10 dust right off the bat. So, per turn. Pirate mission. Oh, right. So that contract we put on that system over here, right here, has expired. So it goes ahead and it tells us how effective they were. They didn't destroy any ships. They did blockade that system for 10 turns out of the 15 turn contract. That's pretty good. They damaged 3 of those ships, which is nice, and they also pillaged a bunch of stuff. And the good thing about that is that we get like roughly half of that share. So actually, excuse me, exactly half of that share. So nice. Not a full return on what we spent, but the whole point wasn't to get anything back in return. It was just to harass them. So, and it worked. So fantastic. So, right, we had some modernization. Do we want to send anyone anywhere in particular, or do we just want to colonize and go from there? We might just want to do that. Keep in mind, we would get some dark glitter from doing that, so I think, yeah, we might just get a ton of stuff colonized here. And then over here in Gatria, we need to queue up some more stuff. What do we want over here? Over here, there's only one titanium coming from this deposit, but I mean, you know, titanium is titanium. I'm not going to say no to it. What do you take me for? Once we really start to expand here, we're going to see some happiness issues, because there's some big approval penalties for all of these planets based on their planet types and their less than fortunate anomalies. Well, I guess we'll just leave this one for now. Excuse me for just a moment while I sip my coffee. Delicious, life-giving coffee. Let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna leave everything for now. That's fine. Everything has a queue. Everything is doing something important. That's what matters. Ooh. Shattered Crust, Smart Survivors, and a new event, Foreign Contaminant. One of our drones has disappeared. Low malfunction rate, so something definitely happened, something weird. So we can start an expedition now to see what happened to our drone. There's a couple of possible outcomes to this quest that I've seen. It's going to cost us 5 titanium. We're almost always going to make that back from the quest rewards. It can be combat, though, that can occur. We're going to risk it. So one of them got some influence loot. Oh, and there's Hyperium. Oh, and a psychotropic effect has given that fleet some extra vision range as well, so they can see a little bit further out now. Great for a scout ship to get that. But we don't have enough probes to pop the other quest marker now, so we'll wait until next turn to finish popping that. And end turn for now. Alright, more modernization done. Drone networks, we got some infrastructure starting to go up. It is excellent. Yeah, it's waking up this fleet and telling me, hey, there's some other people here you're technically in a Cold War with that's parked around your system. Now, they're not doing anything bad. They're just kind of parked there, and they're just an exploration ship, so I'm not too worried. I'm not going to attack them and start anything or anything like that. But one thing that you can do, and we don't have an option to do it. I wonder why. I'm actually not sure why. Most of the time, maybe there's a certain tech you need to have before it would start showing up. I thought it would just start showing up by default. I don't know. I'm kind of confused as to why that's happening. But normally, when another fleet, when another empire parks one of their fleets in your system, or hello, we've met you apparently. There's a bunch of weird stuff happening. I'm not really sure why. It's kind of bizarre. This game did actually just patch like a couple of days ago, so I don't know if maybe a few mechanics have changed or something. Normally it's supposed to tell you when you meet someone. And in addition to that, when the Lumeris flew their ship into my space, it should have given me an option to go over to here, contextual terms, and tell them to take their ships out of my systems. But I did not get that prompt, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I just realized I haven't actually mentioned this button at all. This whole playthrough. You click this to cycle through your idle fleets. Yeah. Just so you can assign orders more quickly. Quest. Got some science. Yada yada yada. Oh, okay. So we got a pirate ship here, a shuttle. It's actually pretty good tech-wise for like our current technological situation. So that's not a bad find. Oh, Mintaka. Got another system here. Got some ruins, subterranean, atmospheric. This is a amazing industrial system. Lava and ash planets tend to make wonderful systems. The downside, of course, being that the approval rating for that system is going to be awful. So you're going to need some tech to offset that. However, the industry that they provide per population is amazing. So we're going to want that system. Absolutely. So we're just going to go and park you there. And we're also really quickly going to just check our queues. I know I'm min-maxing this a lot, but there was a few systems that didn't have a lot in their queue, like this one, where I just want to make sure that they have stuff to do. So we're going to colonize here, which has a pretty good source of food, which is nice. No luxury deposits, though, so I don't know how worth it that is. Do you have... You do. You already have sustainable farms. Yeah, we're really going to want to rework the population there. So let's actually just go ahead and do that. Since, yeah, you know what? We have time. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to send them off somewhere. Does this have... This has more like scientific potential than my home system, doesn't it? Well, I say that. Not really. And we do have... Yeah. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to send... We're going to pick New Home as our destination, and we're going to send a few population. We can't send all 3, I don't believe. Can you? You can. Oh, that's bizarre. Okay, we're not going to do that, though. We're just going to send 2 to New Home. I don't know what would happen if you sent all your population. I've actually never done that before. I didn't think it would let you do that. To New Home. And then we're going to send some population from New Home over down here to Kionos. So Kionos has sterile planets, right? In particular, a sterile planet. We don't have one here, and if you remember, we do have one here, but we can't colonize it yet. If you remember, we had the Harashims, which get a big old food benefit from being on a sterile planet. So what we're going to do is we're going to send them down there. So they're going to get an advantage to being down there. And then the pilgrims, vice versa, will get an advantage from being up here. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to move our prowlers over to here so that we can sort of guard this node so the pirates don't intercept our civilian ships. Because that would be bad. We don't want that to happen. Oh, research just finished. All right. Hardship bonus incentives. So this gets us a bunch of stuff. So it gets us research cities, which is probably like the most important. It upgrades our portals so that once we start building them, fleets there are going to heal faster. And finally, we can colonize ice planets, which has minimal effect on us right now. Awesome. Our Argosy is recharged and can leave the hangar. And I can tell you exactly where the Argosy is going to be headed because I know exactly what system we want next. Don't even have to think about it. Okay, so this is a new thing that's happened just now that I want to explain. New population collection bonus. So if we go to the population screen, which by the way, you can access by going to here and then clicking down here on population details, and it'll bring you to the same screen. This shows you all of your population that's in your empire and the number of them that are in your empire. And also, this is all looks kind of complicated. I honestly don't worry about it. I hardly ever worry about it. But basically what this is telling you is sort of how they're weighted in terms of like political traits. So if you've noticed how we're like going heavy scientist, this isn't just because we're doing a lot of scientific stuff. It's mostly that, but it's also that they're heavily weighted to science. And as you can see here, any militaristic choices are going to also sort of come out as scientific. Ecologist changes are smaller for them. Like, so they're heavily weighted towards science. Just by existing, they're exerting scientific pressure on, like, politically, and also just by collecting them. Once we hit 10 population, our scientists' like political status is going to go up. Once we hit 20 vultures, all of our vultures are going to get a nice little science buff on systems that have any number of vultures. And once we hit 50, our manpower is going to start giving us science. And every single population has collection bonuses that are like major benefits that will help you in some way in the game. They can, like, the first one is always a political effect. And that can be bad in some instances, because you might not want that kind of political force in your empire. But there are ways to kind of control population. So you can't cull population. And you can't really like tell them that you don't want them to settle in a certain place either. So, ooh, nice nebular clouds there. If we can get a lot of influence going here, we could absorb it with both of those systems. That would be fantastic. But there are ways to kind of control the kind of influence that they output. And we'll talk about that when the time comes. Ooh, titanium. And you're fine. And we need to queue up some research. Right, okay, we finished, that's right. Before I forget, we finished research cities. That is a big deal. So we're definitely going to get that in the queue for a number of our systems. It's not worth putting it here yet because we haven't really like built up this system initially, even. So we want to wait on that. Ooh, that's going to be a good one to grab after that. That's going to be a good one to grab after that. And at that point, grabbing those is going to be a good idea. So yeah, you can get a nice long queue going, which is great. It means you can kind of go hands off for a little while, which can be kind of nice. Do we really need that yet? Not really. I don't even really know what we want for this system. We don't really have the improvements we need to do anything specific. It's moments like these, by the way, that there are some great techs to pick up. So there are techs that, so what's a good example? Like this one, for example, would probably be a good one. And also, where's the one for... The one for science is down here. Yeah, so this is a good enough example. So if I get maximized exploitation, I can then do a system improvement that's an infinite system improvement, which means as long as we're working it, we're essentially converting 25% of our industry into dust. It's good to always have at least one of these techs, these infinite production techs, because inevitably some of your systems are going to hit the point where you either don't have anything left to build, or there's nothing else you want to build or that is worth building on that system. And when you hit that point, you're going to want to queue one of these up, because, you know, obviously you don't want them to be sitting there with nothing in their queue, because then you're just wasting all that industry. So we're pretty hardcore into science at this point, and we only need 2 more to finish this here, which will unlock rare curiosities and titanium colonized, which is actually worthless for us. But this isn't rare curiosities. So we're going to go ahead and get 2 more techs from this tier of technology. We actually have at least 1 moon in our empire. So I'd really like... We also have a desert we want to get. So we're going to go ahead and get these 2 techs here. Compact warp methods and evaporation inhibitors. Evaporation inhibitors is also going to give us primary terraforming, which is going to allow us to terraform sterile planets into other types. This can be pretty useful for certain systems. In my personal experience, it's usually worth it to leave planets the way they are and to just sort of specialize based on how a system is, but that is definitely not always the case. Right, so new quest, attract a new population type into our empire. Let's see. Oh, this one is finished. Alrighty. So, fun fact. Man, we didn't even place. Really? How is that possible? Huh. Well, now behemoths can be researched and built, and they are terrifying. Oh, and we also did this, so now we have the scavenge ram scoop, which is, we're actually at the point now where that is kind of useless, but it does lead into more in this little side quest. Basically, the story of this, you know, I'm not going to read a whole lot of it because I don't want to spoil anything. It's really fun to play through it on your own and kind of read all of it. So we'll just focus on sort of the gameplay elements of it. Totally not because I'm not interested in the lore. I freaking love the lore in this game. I don't want to spoil it for you, though. That's one of the reasons. Basically, we have two choices here. Both are going to get us the same reward, which is a hero. But they both require different things. One of them is colonizing a unique planet. We haven't really seen any. Besides the one we already colonized over here, of course. Which, as you can see, does count towards it. We're going to do this. It's going to require us to hit up certain curiosities. Are there curiosities in here? Is that... Yeah, one of our quest ones is there, actually. And they can't be popped by the planet. You actually have to use a scout ship to do it. So we're going to send you back up here so you can actually do that. No more Volters in Gatria. Nice. New home finished intensive cultivation. So as you can see, our food is now... It's gone from like 27 to like 114. It's just a huge improvement. So... Yeah. We're going to start gaining population a lot faster here, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Makes me very happy. All right, let's pop another curiosity over here. What secrets do you hold? Basic fusion torpedoes. And a quest to save some poor Horatios that got trapped on this planet and are going to die if we don't help them. So what we can do is that it's given us a ship, and we need to take this ship to a system with at least 3 open population slots. And the first system that they touch, the first system they get in, they're automatically going to populate it. So we want to take them to a system where we can take full advantage of them. Now, as a new player, you may not know this, but Horatio, one of their racial bonuses, is they excel on hot planets. So we're going to take them to the Gatria system. How are we going to do that? Because they're going to have to go through the Kionos system, right? I mean, that's going to stink because they're immediately going to want to colonize or get out of their ships there. Also, they have some probes, so we're going to go ahead and use those before they leave here. Strong magnetic field, science, Garden of Eden, ooh, and a quest or an event, excuse me, that's shown us nothing we didn't already know about, except for Dorado. It's actually a pretty good system, potentially. But yeah, so how are we going to do that? Well, there's a couple of ways. First of all, we're going to fly up here, and then from there, we're going to hold down control. Excuse me. No, we're going to fly there first, then I'll show you. Once we get there, basically, I'll just go ahead and tell you right now. If you hold down control, it tells the fleet to fly directly to a place without traveling through nodes. Which is very, very useful if you're wanting to bypass certain systems. Obviously, it takes a lot longer, as you saw. It's going to take 14 turns for them to get there. But as you'll learn pretty quick, 14 turns is not very long in this game. It just seems like it's a long time because of how much talking I'm doing, basically. So let's see, we're going to fly this way. Aquarius, which is a pretty small, not great system. But there is a neutron star there, I suppose. We only need to build one more scientific improvement, and we finish our first chapter of our main quest. Oh! Okay, there's a couple of things going on here. So first of all, we discovered the Harashims. We actually do have one in our empire, but we actually officially discovered them over here. I'm not really interested in absorbing them into my empire, but we will go ahead and make first contact and praise them just to get some stuff from them. Because remember, being friends with a minor civilization, they will just start to give you some of their resources. So even if you never plan on absorbing them into your empire, befriending them can still be useful. Still has its uses. All right, so we have a little bit of a pirate fight here. It looks like good at medium range. I'm good at medium range. A lot of energy weapons. We have a lot of energy defense. Okay, we should be fine. Yeah, good. Excellent. Volters on New Home. Yeah, because we're going to be growing now, which is fantastic. Just filled in that slot there from the Hiroshima that we sent off. We finished. Excellent. Oh, and we left this. We shouldn't have done that. We left an empty queue, which means we are going to lose some industry. That's okay, though. It's not a huge deal. We're not making a lot of industry over here in the first place. So, minimal loss. Plus, we didn't really plus, in addition to all that, there's really nothing we need in this system right now. I'm kind of planning on making this sort of a dust production system, I guess. I guess we can get a portal up. We should really start building some portals around our empire. I guess we could build the filter barges here. Just, yeah. We can always cancel it if we change our mind. It gives them something to do. Oh, we got another election coming up here soon. Another curiosity we can pop over here. Which is what? Molten Springs and some dust. Hooray for dust. I'm gonna fly them out to here so that we can just send some probes out, see what we can see. Oh, they did discover something. Oh, another black hole. That's cool. Something's happening. Ah, remember this quest? Well, went off without a hitch, and we got 80 influence. Not bad. It's something. Oh, we explored 50% of the galaxy. Really? Wow. Not a lot of systems in this galaxy. But we got a bunch of red sang for doing it, so that's a thing. That is really interesting. I did not expect that. It's a very small galaxy. Well, this could be an interesting game. This could be a very interesting game. Alright, folks. I know it's been a little bit of a shorter episode today. We're kind of at the end of a bit of... Well, not the end of a long day. I'm at the end of a long streak of working on a lot of stuff. Been doing a lot of writing. I've been doing a lot of editing. I've been doing a lot of work for a friend. And I still have a ton of stuff left to do today. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go ahead and leave you guys here for now. But don't worry, I'm gonna be getting back, and doing this some more. I don't know how much longer I'm, gonna do this series. I've kind of accomplished what I came here to do, which is, to teach people how to play. I want to preview a few more things that I haven't done yet, like ground combat and a little, like some diplomatic stuff. And behemoths, like that sounds like a lot of fun. But other than that, we've definitely achieved what I came here to do. I might start another series where it's less tutorially and more just me actually just playing Endless Space 2, which is kind of what this series has become. But yeah, either way, we'll definitely be revisiting Endless Space 2. I see it as inevitable. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So anyway, I will see you guys next time, and have a great day. Bye!